Welcome back. All right, so before we get into tonight's games, I wanted to do a video, one of these nothing to see here type videos. I've done this before. I haven't done this for a while though, and it's similar to the videos where I'll do a certain number of subscribers do a video, but also today is 2 years since the NHL went on pause. 2 years ago today, that the NHL said we're shut down, and I remember doing the March 11th review, and it felt off. It felt like I'm reviewing these games like, okay, so here's who won, and do we care? Because we know the NHL is getting shut down tomorrow. So the NHL, and along with other sports as well, they shut down. And we had no idea when it was coming back. It would come back in August. We had the bubble playoffs. They said the regular season's over, and of course, in between, we had some updates. But it showed me that, the resilience of this channel, that from March through August, there wasn't really much to report. The rosters were frozen, so you don't have any free agent signings. You don't have anybody getting traded. Nothing's happened. And yet I was able to create content that engaged people. We were able to get some playlists going. I took some suggestions for people on what might work. Some of the stuff I was doing worked, some of it didn't. I really enjoyed talking about great playoff series from the past. Those videos just didn't get any traction. The redrafting of draft classes definitely seemed to work. That's the kind of thing I could bring back this summer as well. Those seem to be very, very popular. So honestly, I learned a lot about what works and what doesn't. News videos always seem to get a lot of eyeballs, so I made sure to keep that as a part of my daily routine. And daily routine, you've got reviews, you've got previews. I still feel like there's more I could do to fix the routine. So in the 2 years since the pause, the channel's continued to grow. By my count, it's 40 some thousand over the last year, which again is just absolutely crazy to me. Because years ago, I figured, well, the channel's topping out. I didn't think it would ever get above like 40,000. 40,000 is pretty good. And I never thought it would get to this point. And this has been my job, my primary job, since 2018. So we're coming up on 4 years, and the reason we did that is because the playoffs were coming up in 2018. My workplace was scheduling me to miss a whole bunch of playoff games, and we knew that if I was going to make this channel work, I had to be home to watch the playoffs, review the playoff games. And so, my wife talked me into taking the plunge, and so we went with this as the primary source of income, and it was the best decision that I've ever had somebody push me to make. So in the 2 years since the pause, the channel's grown pretty well, and it is to the point where it definitely feels like I need a bigger space. So knowing that I've needed a bigger space, this is something Yvonne and I've been talking about for at least a year. The idea that, okay, we need to, as much as I've really enjoyed living here, we need to find a bigger area for me. And the idea of renting a studio, well, that'd be fine, but then you're adding in a lot of extra time. And then, well, what do I do if there's a big trade at 6 a.m? And I got to get into the studio, I got to open everything up, I got, and just it adds a lot more issues with the logistics, when in reality, I would just get up and do the video at home anyways, right? So why have a studio? So we're moving in May. We don't have the exact date yet. Of course, the trick is, and I went through this the last time around, trying to make sure that it doesn't interrupt the videos on the channel. And so the other trick is, in May, that's playoff time. So I have to make sure that our cable service provider makes the move on the same day that I go from watching games here to watching games in the new house, where I'll have a bigger room. I may have the ability, Yvonne and I are talking about whether or not I might need 2 TVs in that house. I would be stressed, though, with the idea that I might burn myself out a little bit if I'm trying to watch 6 games on one TV and 5 on another when it's really busy. So that might end up being a little bit much. But that being said, if that's my greatest concern, things are going pretty well. So the move will take place, and it is because there's a lot of stuff that I have that I haven't been able to display. There's a lot of stuff that I really want to have up on my walls. I just don't have any room. And so I've been buying a bunch of stuff that I think will help with the move. I've been buying a bunch of stuff that I think will help us after the move as well. and I'm excited about this. And it's something that can be kind of scary. And we had a tough time 3 years ago when we made the move. So this time around, we're moving as much of it on our own as possible. And any furniture that we're not enamored with, we'll probably just give up and move on and get new stuff. In the new house, I also will not be dealing with glare off the window any longer. Just to use as an example. So there's the, and that's with the blinds down. So if I bring the blinds up, see, that wakes up Bear. She's very happy, but then immediately I have a big glare spot on the board. And if it's sunny out and that glare spot has the sun in it somewhere, it can hit the camera and it fries it. So it was something I learned 3 summers ago. I lost a camera that way, that it just, the sun just fried it. So I have to make sure that doesn't, and so that after the move I don't have to worry about it, because instead of having a window here, the window will be at the very back of the room. You won't even see it in videos. That means you may not see the cats very much in videos either. So that's the one thing. Bunny rabbits, yeah. We're also going to work on getting new cat trees that double as like a rabbit habitat kind of thing. So with rabbits, they'll chew through all of the carpeting. So if we can get one that's got a lot of rope on it and very little of the carpeting, that's probably best for them. They'd be very happy. They do chew on roping, but they don't chew through the ropes nearly as quickly. And then we can replace that really easy, whereas with the carpeting, not as much. And it's funny to me because when the channel started up and it started gaining traction almost 6 years ago now, I remember complaints about there being cats. You'll never have a good channel if you can't have cats in the background. Dude, you can't have a cat in your lap. Nobody's gonna take you seriously. And here we are. So there's people who love the cats and the rabbits and all of that. And I mean, right now, where is he? Normally Licorice is up here. The funny thing with that was I was gonna keep Jet. We were gonna let Licorice go. And then Licorice ended up sitting on the cat tree. That's his spot right there. And I was like, so I got to keep him because he likes to sit on the cat tree and he's in videos. So people like that kind of thing. And, I've made sure too through the whole way that it stayed conversational and how I do videos, that they're all one take. And yeah, so after the move, none of that's going to change. But it will allow me to have more of a schedule to things. I will be able to separate things out a little bit better. I'll have better organization of my stuff than what I have right now. And so I'm really looking forward to that. One thing with the jersey side of it too is that there really aren't jerseys out there now that I'm looking to collect. Every now and then I'll see one here or one there, like Milwaukee Fish Fry, whatever that is. The Milwaukee Admirals wore that, and they're eye-gougingly ugly, but I kind of need to have one. So I've got a bid in on one. I don't expect to win it, but it's eye-gougingly beautiful. So really, it's a matter now of saying, okay, I've got all these. I want to better organize them. I have them organized by team. I'd like to take that apart and instead organize them by here's CCMs, here's starters, here's Adidas, and if I'm doing a video where I'm talking about history stuff from the 80s and 90s, maybe I have a bunch of jerseys in the background on a rack that are from that era, right? And so kind of change out the era based on what I'm talking about. Think like if you watch pitch meetings and Ryan will make sure that the computers in the background match the era that the movie's being made in, which I think is a really nice touch. So I think it'd be great if I was able to do that too, which means the whiteboards might get used not in every single video. I might have videos where I don't use whiteboards. I'd still use the whiteboards for list videos. I'd still use the whiteboards for reviews and previews. But for news of the day, it might just be me standing in front of a wall of jerseys behind me. And I might have the whiteboard on the other side, which I don't really have the room in here to do. But in the new house, I would. I would have the room to have all of those. And then I would go ahead and just put in all of the timestamps for that. And I would run it similar to the reviews based on that. So that's a possibility I'm looking at. And just in general, I think it'd be great to have that set up. Even looking at the jersey setup right now as I have it, those kind of look like lockers. So I have this idea of, if I could have it look like it's I still have those on the wall. I may not need as many of them as I have right now, but have them on the wall. have jerseys hung up there, but I could make it like it's a locker room in the background. And if I want to repaint it, I can repaint it. So something like that, where it gives it that air, that feel of something a little bit different. I've talked to Yvonne about how it might be fun to have a bench in the room and have the bench in front of the lockers. So, that kind of thing, right? In front of the jerseys, I'd have a bench. But yeah, so I'm excited about this because it's been over a year that my wife and I have talked about how I do need a bigger space. There was one night that I came to bed after a long day of games and trying to get all the boards all figured out, and I was like, I need a bigger space. This, I appreciate the room we have. I love the house we have, but need that bigger space. So that'll be a case of something I've desperately needed for years finally taking place. Plus, for people who follow the Entertainment Guy, and if you don't, that's fine. But if you do, with TEG, the problem I had with TEG in the old house was there was nowhere to put anything. In the new house, it shares the kitchen downstairs with, well, kitchen stuff. So you might have the fridge. You might hear the furnace, which is right next to where I have that set up. So in the new house, it's its own room. We'll be able to basically have the Entertainment Guy as its own room, as its own set. It'll be a similar size to the room that I'm in now. Plus, it'll be dedicated to all the TEG stuff, and I'll have all of its own setup in there, so I can just go from making videos based on hockey in one room, go to the room over, and make videos based on, whatever TV shows, maybe baseball, like I did a baseball video the other day, football, whatever. And it just makes it easier. So it'll save me time. It won't affect how much I upload to the channels. Might actually be a little bit more. Yeah, I know. Might actually be a little bit more, but it would free up some time for me. So I have everything set up. Maybe before I go to bed, I have, stuff set up for the next day's stuff, and a lot less stressful for me. So I'm looking forward to that. We've got some volunteers to help us move, which is great. And really, it's a matter of making sure that we're fully ready this time. We have really made sure that we are more ready this time than last time, because that's the issue. Well, last time we really were not ready for what we had to do, and this time we are. I've got a whole bunch of boxes. We've already packed up a lot of stuff. And so that'll continue through April. That'll continue through March. Not in that order. We won't do April 1st. I don't have a time machine yet. But yeah, so 2 years on from when the most terrifying video I ever made was made, which was, I don't know what's going to happen. So the NHL shut down. Am I going to make any money? Am I going to lose everything? That was just in the back of my head. And now, honestly, over the last 2 years, I've been very blessed. I've been very lucky, and I'm very grateful. So, really looking forward to that next chapter. I have hinted around too about whether or not I might do something with the Steve Dangle podcast at some point after the move. I'm completely open to that. Again, I'll have more time. I'll probably have a better organization system than not really having one like I do now. And so yeah. I'm looking forward to that. I haven't talked to them about anything or anything like that. So we'll see where that goes. May not go anywhere. I have no idea. But all I know is that this is looking to be a very interesting year. The other thing too is that I'll be able to do outdoor videos in the new place, because the neighborhood's quieter in the backyard than it is here. Backyard here is very noisy. So I tried as soon as we moved in. I was like, I can't do a video out here. It's noisy out here. So yeah, in the new house, that won't be a problem. A very quiet, fenced-in backyard, and so yeah, I'll be able to do videos in the backyard. I'm gonna have fun with it. I'm really gonna have fun with it. I'm excited about it, and hopefully other people are too. And again, nothing is gonna change. Everything's gonna stay the same on the channel as it is. I will continue to do this job every single day. Although during the summer, I'm reserving the right to maybe record videos ahead of time and post them after, and maybe take a day here and there during the summer to just depressurize and have some fun, especially in August when we're heading to the city of Las Vegas. First week of August, we'll be in Las Vegas. I haven't set anything up there yet, but I will once we get closer to that time. And yeah, so there you go. Thank you guys so much for being part of the growth that I've seen on this channel. A little over 40,000 in the last 365 days, which is absolutely crazy. So thank you guys so much for all your support throughout. And hey, it's going to be a good year. I believe that, and I think we're going to get some great Stanley Cup playoffs. So while we're getting some great Stanley Cup playoffs, why not have me move during that? And so that when the Stanley Cup is awarded and we're talking about Stanley Cup champions, I can take my Stanley Cup replica and have it in that video. So, because yeah, I have the smaller Stanley Cup replica, but I also have the bigger one, and so I'm excited about that as well. So again, there's a lot of stuff that I've been getting that's not even being used in videos. I have a new webcam, haven't even taken it out of the box. New computer, haven't set it up. Bunch of new stuff that I've had in my mind. This needs to be for like a soft relaunch of the channel, a revamp of the channel. And so that's the plan. Thank you guys so much for all your support to help the plan get there. So I will talk to you guys again soon. We have 8 games tonight in the NHL. We have the power rankings. Looking forward to everybody telling me how wrong I am in my power rankings. And hey, thank you guys so much for all your support. It means a lot. Clocks go ahead tonight. So don't forget that you're losing an hour of sleep tonight, which always sucks. The spring ahead fallback is kind of aggravating because you feel like your day should be over and it's not. But spring ahead just sucks. I'm not a big fan of the spring ahead. So if I seem tired in the videos tomorrow, it's because we sprang ahead. Everybody's going to be tired tomorrow. Thank you. Unless you're in an area that doesn't do the time change. There are areas that don't do the time change. I respect that. Thank you guys so much for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.